Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2231 and the PlayStation Network is just now sort of starting to coalesce. We've had a bunch of separate areas of space, separate outposts that have sort of been spread out, but we're just now starting to fill in some of those gaps. And while I was making that last video, I came to the conclusion that I should go ahead and make another construction ship to help with filling in those gaps in our empire.
Construction complete.
So once that construction ship was built, I decided to go ahead and send it and have them start working on research stations. We've been kind of prioritizing the mining stations so far. So we're going to get this second construction ship to work on that. One of our science ships has apparently found a gas giant, and they report that a ruined network of aerostat colonies dating back at least 3 millennia can be found in low orbit of this gas giant. Their original function appears to have been gas mining, but they have since been abandoned and reoccupied by many different races and pirate groups. The colonies have been thoroughly stripped of anything even remotely valuable, but the mere fact that they are still aloft after all this time makes them an interesting subject of engineering research. Fascinating.
Special project complete.
We encountered some large creatures that looked sort of like space squids in that last video, and we've been researching them, and our scientists have come to the conclusion that the spaceborne life forms, which we call Tianki, are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimension of subspace. They roam from system to system with remarkable ease. They graze on gases common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will not attack unless provoked, and they can be safely ignored. And we're peaceful machines for the most part so far, so hunting them would be a net loss anyway. I mean, we don't need to eat them, so we're not going to be making space squid burgers or stew. So let's move on.
Construction complete.
You may remember that we were having a bit of a deficit with our energy credits, probably because I've been building so many outposts. So I decided to upgrade 2 outposts that are sitting at defensive choke points. We were going to upgrade these outposts anyway for defense purposes, but now we will also be able to build solar panel networks. So I'm going to put one here and then another one up here. I've also been building new energy credit mining stations, so our deficit has kind of fixed itself anyway, but these solar panels will help because we will definitely be building more outposts. Meanwhile, our scientists on our science ship have discovered that a micro-singularity recently intersected Sanditar 1, passing straight through the core and emerging on the other side of the planet. The encounter does not seem to have caused any permanent damage, but it has altered the energy output of the planetary core slightly in a way that defies our current scientific models. Further study may be warranted. Fascinating. A more detailed scan of one of the many natural satellites orbiting the gas giant Paunia 6 has revealed a deposit of precious metals and minerals that was overlooked in the initial survey. Although the moon is very small, it has a stable orbit around its primary and appears tectonically stable. This is an excellent find.
Construction complete.
We have finished installing our solar panels on our 2 star bases. My income of energy credits did not jump up like I hoped it would, so I'm not sure why that's the case. But nonetheless, it is now time to go ahead and build a little bit of defensive capability into these star bases. I think I put a missile battery on the first choke point base that I upgraded, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. I probably should have verified that missile battery is what I went with on that other base, but what the hell. I'm going to go ahead and put missile batteries on both of these two newly upgraded star bases. Missiles have a longer range than the other weapons, but they can be deflected, so that's a drawback.
Construction complete.
But now we have missile batteries on those two bases. And one of our construction ships is ready to do something else. This is our second construction ship. I'm mostly having them build research stations, so I'm going to have them go down here and do that.
Construction complete.
And now we have another outpost. So you can see our space is starting to fill in. That's our first construction ship. So now they can build a mining station in that system. We have traced the unusual electromagnetic radiation emanating from Stellaris 2 to a secret subterranean bunker hiding a megacomputer the size of a battleship. Our researchers suspect that it may have been there for several thousand years, hard at work solving a single very complex problem, the nature of which still eludes us. That sounds like deep thought in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When the crew attempted to interact with the computer, they discovered that the facility, which had appeared both abandoned and unguarded, was in fact operated by a security AI, the highest purpose of which seems to be frying its visitors alive. As the crew defeated the AI, it broadcasted a message to an unknown recipient. So we have three choices here. We could scrap the mega computer for parts, we could use it to boost our own research, or we could let it continue its mysterious calculations. I feel like since we are also machines and we are also AI that has advanced, we would probably let it continue its mysterious calculations. And also, I'm taking a chance that this is in fact like deep thought from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and so it is not dangerous. So we are going to go ahead and let it continue its mysterious calculations.
Construction complete.
One of our construction ships has finished what it was doing, so they are ready to be sent somewhere else to keep them busy. I'm still trying to build up a decent energy credit income, so I think I'm going to send them over this way and have them build another outpost. And then once that outpost is built, we can build an energy credit mining station in that system. But hold everything. We have been contacted by the Curator Order. This is another vendor type of alien. We encountered a different vendor alien earlier in the series, but I haven't actually tried to do any business with them. I'm not sure they will do business with us as a machine empire, but I'll try to remember to test that theory at the beginning of the next video. But for now, here is the Curator Order. They seem friendly enough so far, which is good. They say their ancient order was established eons ago by the various galactic powers in ascendancy at the time. They were dedicated toward the preservation of all knowledge in an effort to safeguard the galaxy from descending into yet another dark age of mass extinctions and barbarism. They admit they have failed in that endeavor. Few of them remain today, but they are no less committed to their sacred mission than their predecessors. And it says they're willing to share their knowledge. So I'll have to test that theory in the next video. But for now, here is their spaceport. They appear to be orbiting a black hole, and they are over on the other side of the galaxy from us. So they are far away, but that doesn't really matter if they will do business with us. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, a scan of the particularly massive asteroid 133D572 yields fascinating results. The rock's core is shot through with a network of conductive crystals carrying a weak electric charge. The crew of our science ship recognize this matrix as a primitive neural lattice and believe the celestial body to be thinking in some capacity, if not fully sapient. They seek permission to excavate the core and transport it to the nearest orbital station for closer study. So once again, we have a choice. Make it so, would excavate the core and make do with what you can study from the surface, would not excavate the core, and we have some slightly different consequences from that. I'm going to go ahead and role play here again, and I think the PlayStation Network would not excavate the core. I feel like they would allow this neural network to do its job. Meanwhile, the hierarchy of Bok Bok is expanding at an alarming rate. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But on top of that, they have insulted us. They say they would rather discuss interstellar politics with any of their other household appliances than to talk about it with us. This is indeed a scathing statement from the hierarchy of Bok Bok. I feel like they're becoming a bit more belligerent. So while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and check our contacts list and see how they stack up to us. In the past, they were, their fleet power anyway was inferior to ours, but now it is equivalent. So that explains why they're becoming more belligerent. But meanwhile, one of our science ships has discovered a crater, and they have studied it, and they say while the crater in question was most likely the result of a regular meteorite impact, the complex patterns in the resulting depression originated at a later time. Science Officer Helperbot Q7 argues that these surface-level patterns are not the result of an impact but a collision, one between asteroid P13254 and some unspecified orbital installation or ship of alien make. How odd.
Construction complete. System survey complete.
Our construction and science ships are putting in some work. I probably should have built 2 construction ships earlier in the game. But never mind that. This one is done with its current task, so we're going to send them down here to build some research stations.
Construction complete.
And now we have another outpost, so we can build another mining station here, and you can see our space is continuing to fill in. Asteroid 2195004 is pockmarked with craters from weapon blasts and appears to have been used as a target range by someone roughly 2 millennia ago. Residual energy readings suggest they tested increasingly exotic weaponry, including subspace bombs and some kind of singularity generator. Our scientists would be interested in studying the unusual energy echoes that remain. Interesting. Now here's a big discovery. One of our science ships has discovered a previously unknown strategic resource on M4984 dubbed volatile motes. These preternatural particles contain a tremendous amount of energy which could be exploited in energy production as fuel or even as explosives. While we do not yet possess the means to extract this resource, we should seriously consider establishing control over the system for future exploitations. Okay.
Construction complete.
One of our construction ships is now ready for a new assignment. We have some brand new energy credit mining stations here. And we could send this ship to a number of different places. As you can see, we still have empty spaces to fill. But what I think I'm going to do is send them down here to this system and build another outpost, which will lead to another energy credit mining station.
Technological acquisition successful.
And we have earned another tradition point to spend. And we will be buying into a new tradition tree. So you may have noticed that some of these trees were changed in the last big update that brought us Synthetic Dawn and all of that extra content, changing of the economy and all that. This versatility tree, I believe, used to be called Diplomacy. I'm not sure what synchronicity was called, but I'm pretty sure it was not synchronicity. Normally I would buy into what was formerly called the Diplomacy tree so I could start a federation, but I'm not even sure a machine empire can do that. So I'm not doing that, and I don't think I'm going to go into the synchronicity tree, even though both of those trees do have some interesting options. But the expansion tree seems like it would most apply to what we are doing right now. Adopting into this tree would increase our colony development speed when we colonize another planet. So I think right now the smartest thing to do is to go into the expansion tree. I'm probably wrong as usual.
Construction complete.
Another construction ship is ready for a new assignment. We have another outpost, so we're going to build another mining station here for energy credits.
Construction complete.
And now we are finished building research stations in this system. In the meantime, we have acquired the technology to take advantage of some crystals that were up in this system. We discovered these crystals in an earlier video, but now we can build a mining station to extract those. So that's good. The very geological structure of Askelion 4 is indeed in flux, driven by what Science Officer Coadjutron 11 assures us is a tectonic process as fascinating as it is esoteric. What is of more interest to the PlayStation Network is that we may be able to strategically halt the planet's ceaseless chaotic self-transformation. In short, a near-instant stabilization of the planet into something slightly, if not entirely, more habitable is theoretically possible. Coadjutron 11 estimates that an additional 200 energy credits will be needed to power a thorough mapping of planetary activity and determine the validity of what the science officer has termed a surgical terraforming strike. Actual terraforming lies beyond our grasp at present, so this is an exciting opportunity. So we have a choice to just study its natural processes, or we could give them their 200 credits. I am going to give them their 200 credits. And it wasn't long before Science Officer Coadjutron 11 reported that Askelion 4 can indeed be terraformed. A narrow window of opportunity is expected to open shortly, as the planet enters a particularly unstable phase of its cycle lasting a couple of months. Coadjutron 11 believes that miniaturized explosive charges delivered to the planet's crust and strategic irradiation of the atmosphere during this time will halt Askelion 4's tumultuous changes and stabilize it in a form somewhat more suitable for sustaining life. What could go wrong? A special project has been issued, but we do not have much time. Excellent. This is a timed project, so we will stop our science ship from surveying the system and we will move them into orbit around Askelion 4 to begin this research project. And then we will go into our situation log and officially begin the research. But I think this is a decent spot to end this video. Things are going okay still for the PlayStation Network. The Bok are becoming more belligerent, so who knows what'll happen there. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.